What's Talking Sundowns, proudly brought to you by SoccerBeat. Umjaka here, welcoming you, asking you, please join us on this journey. Hit the subscribe button, like, share with friends that are not part of this family. Let them know why you are here. Invite them. They should join us. I've got Coach Farouk, I've got Sheikh Ngwenya here with me to talk Remo Stars, CAF Champions League, progressing like as expected. The game, I think, was done in the first round, Shege. I'm wondering why there were no rotations. I saw all the key players on the pitch there. This was possibly the best Sundowns team we can always expect this season.
Yeah, 100% Umjaka. We wrapped up the game in Nigeria. I would have expected a couple of changes. There are some players that need that game time, the likes of your Pasadine, the likes of your Tiki, who we saw doing well in the previous fixture, same fixture. The likes of your Mabena, who need that game time to bring back that confidence. But yeah, I think the coach opting for the cohesion, the same cohesion, opting for rhythm, also looking at the fact that we're going to play a very tough game against Orlando Pirates in the league. So I think, it's a concern for the supporters. Same with me. The lack of game time of other players, I think it would have been an opportune moment to play them. But I can see also where the coach is coming from in terms of just making sure that the team is got that cohesion and that rhythm going forward to that tough game.
I saw you nodding there, Coach. Are you nodding because you agree with Shakes on he should have rotated, or you are nodding on the cohesion?
Well, we need firstly on the rotation. And I'm saying this with due respect to the coach and his technical team, that I understand he wanted to have cohesion, but this is an opportune time to bring in those players. Simply, as he pointed out, game time is very important. You need to also get confidence back to players like Jane Aarons. He started like a house on fire. He's lost a bit of that sting. Obas is an important player for Sundowns as well. And I just think Lunga as well is a player that you're going to need to be on his best. Now, if you are, and Shix will tell you, if you're a player that has very little minutes, when you're called upon sometimes, it takes a while for you to get that rhythm back. And for me, the other thing that I was worried about was risks as far as injuries were concerned. You look at a player like Ngwenya, look at a player like Elende. They have had so many minutes to play. I mean, we're talking back last season. We're talking about the World Club competition. These guys haven't had a rest. And I think, we're dealing with human beings here that obviously need not just a physical rest, Umjaka, a mental rest. Football is a pressurized game, especially at the level where they're playing. There's a lot of mental challenges, that you deal with, pressure daily, when the team is not doing as well. And I understand the coach is trying to rebuild. It's not a rebuild as in starting the team anew, but after Robero's lost, they brought in Santos. Santos is supposedly the player that they want to replace with Ribeiro. They brought in the likes of Nsabileng also. So Nsabileng should get time now. I think he's an important player moving forward. I think he's a player with more game minutes. He's going to give them a lot more. So I just think this was the time. I'm not critiquing the fact that he didn't start with a team full of players that were coming from the bench, but more so giving key players that opportunity moving forward. So that's just my opinion on what I think could have been achieved. Sunseek, they were leading by 5 goals to 1. I think if you look at it, Onyango was on holiday today, up to the point where there was 1 or 2 chances. Onyango, at one stage, you only had the likes of Cupido and Kekana. The entire team was attacking Remo Stars. So, yeah, great opportunity. Even the youngster, Mabena, I would love to see him in a game like this, No pressure. 5-1 up, throw him to the wolves.
But a great statement on the flip side, Nsheke, a great statement to send to Orlando Pirates and say, ungasithathi kancane. We've got the Nuno Santos is looking like a number 10. Really, really looking at home now. You saw those passes. I mean, you like to see a guy trying things. Well, even if it doesn't work out, we are South African. We don't care. We don't care. We just want to see you trying because it just brings us to our feet and makes us anxious, Or kanjani, Nsheke?
Yeah, definitely. She's got that touch, he's got that shake killer pass. I like it, I like it for Nunes. And it's good to see him on the scoring sheet, you want him to gain that confidence, and also the likes of your Shalulile being in the scoring sheet, I think that brings back the confidence. With him, he looked like the third choice or the fourth choice, to Cardoso squad. But today he came on and scored, so it's good to see. That'll give him that confidence. We know what Shalulile can do, and yeah. So it was great to see that and Nuno's in the scoring sheet.
Very interesting, coach. Every other coach would have made changes in the forward positions. Like you're saying, you wanted to see Mabena, you wanted to see, but that centre back pairing and the goalkeeper on Yang. We look at that spine at the back. That's a rotation. Orgajan, coach.
No, they're brilliant. I mean, I can't fault the coach there. I think he did very well in stabilizing their defense and even giving Onyango a chance. We know Onyango's quality, but when you're coming up against a Williams, who's a world-class keeper, obviously you're going to play second field. But I want to talk about something that you mentioned. It just brought the smile to my face. It is when they switch off the lights. You know what it means when we switch off the lights? Okay? Now, when you talk about the relationship, there's 5 principles. I pass and I move. The second one is I come to the table. What it means come to the table, when Umjaka gets the ball, Shaggy comes to you. The third one is we build ladders. The fourth one is we change the point of attack. Now I come to my favorite one. Switch off the lights. Did you see that goal? It started with Matthews, and on the side there, they won possession. The ball was played across. Who switched the lights off? Shalulile. Who scored the goal? Santos. Switching the lights off. This is our football. Where we look one way and pass the ball the other way. Where I pass to you, you dump me for shakes. That is what we saw today in Sundowns. And I enjoyed it because this is what people come and watch, not just predictable football. So I'm excited going into this game with Sundowns because both teams have players that can do that. We have the likes of Tito on that side. We've got lots of skill. And I think this is what is going to make such a big interest in this particular fixture that's coming up, Umjaka.
Shage, I like what the coach is saying because I'm almost here, almost shouting, hands off Cardoso. This is what we've been waiting for. Cardoso has now delivered, you hear a coach is talking about, switching off the lights. Just the way when I'm shagging. All the fans have been asking for this. Nobody's asking for wins. They were asking us to play like Mamelodi Sundowns. I think Cardoso is also going to now see, that we didn't care about the victories. We only care about, we want the guys to try things. And I think because everybody's talking about Orlando Pirates being such a good team, having these star players who are doing things, coach has already mentioned, but I think now Tashreeq Matthews has already, has sent that message, Matthews has sent that message. Shalulile has sent that message. Santos has sent that message saying, if you've got Rele, I've got Matthews. If you've got this guy, I've got that guy. So,
yeah, no, I'll drink to that, Umjaka. I love the cohesion. I love what's happening, today, I just hope we can have that consistency, in terms of the way they played today. I think it's very important for them to carry that through to also the PSL, against Pirates, because it's very important to keep that style of play that Sundown has been always accustomed to, that Shushan and piano. Today, I think we saw it. I think the boys played with a lot of freedom, and really passed the ball around well and created those beautiful chances. So if it can just be a consistency in that performance, then we are all for Cardoso. But if the style is going to change just to accommodate results, I think the Sundowns faithful will not like that. So today was great. You must just keep up that cohesion and that rhythm that we saw today.
I need to go celebrate, Mshege. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm sure you want to celebrate. I'm going to come back to you, Mshege, with the question of how do the players train now leading up to this Pirates game, right? But coach, this was a very good Sundowns team. We can expect Santos to start. We can expect Shalulile to start. We can expect Matthews to start. We can expect, we know Ronman is going to start. What should Sundowns faithful be excited about going to Pirates, knowing that what we've got going into that game? And Shege, after the coach speaks, how do the guys train You know, how does Onyango train knowing Williams is going to start? How does Kekana train knowing he might not start at centre back? How does Basadine train knowing you know what I mean? So that after coach speak, you get into that, Shaggy. Coach, this was a very good team. What should Paris be afraid of about us going into that game? You know, this was a very good team. I think Rele matches this guy, matches that guy, matches that guy. What should Paris be afraid of? What should Sundowns fans be excited about when they meet a Paris fan, what should they be saying to them now?
Well, firstly, Sundowns have the pedigree to manage the game. They can control the tempo of the game. A team like Pirates are not comfortable when they are positioned control the tempo. When there's a lot of turnovers, Pirates are most dangerous because they have speed. They have the technical ability to punish you on the counter-attack. Whereas with Sundowns, they have such a lot of quality that they can manipulate possession. They can change the point of attack. They got great combination play. And they have individual specialists, like we saw Santos. I was very impressed with him. The first time I saw him, I appreciated much. Santos, for me, today, was a breath of fresh air. You know, you would see that South American flair, passing with the outside of the foot, comfortable on the ball, never ever flattered. So that is important because now you're playing against a team that can match you pound for pound in every department, you know. And even now, they've got two on-form strikers. They've got Shalulile, and if Reynolds comes back after a small health scare, I think now they have a double barrel attack there. And then obviously, you look at Mudau, after that long layoff, he's becoming that player that we know can penetrate. He's the modern day attacking fullback. He's not a right back. He's a fullback. He's an attacking fullback. And you see the same from Mudiba. Now, when you have two players like that that's stretching you, then Pirates have problems. Because, you know, they like to attack with their fullbacks as well, which now means it's going to be a battle royale down the flanks with service coming in. I tell you, we are going to have a thrill a minute with this fixture.
Continue, coach. But if you had time, I'd say continue, coach. I'd say continue. You're talking so nice. But we don't have time. We don't have time. Yeah.
Not forgetting the likes of Ngwenya and Allende. What a better double pivot can you have? I think anywhere around the world, those guys will get people standing on their feet and cheering.
Shaggy, how do the guys train now? You know you're not going to sit Ngwenya on the bench. Coach has already mentioned Allende. You're not going to sit Allende on the bench. You know, a lot of the guys are training knowing Mudau is going to start. How does a right back train? How does Diwani train as a left back knowing? You know, you can't sit Mutiba. And Mutiba played in a game that was almost guaranteed now. But against Pirates, there's no way the coach will risk rotating this team now.
Yeah, Umjaka, it's all about knowing that you're a professional football player, you know, and you need to always train the same. You always need to put that effort in training because who knows, things happen in the field. What if Allende gets injured during the game, you know, and now you have to come in and replace him. So you must always be ready as a professional player, you know. And also, it's all about the team, you know, and getting the best out of Allende. You know, when you are training well, and Allende is playing in the same position as you, you know, he knows that you are knocking behind him, so he will also make sure that he works hard. You know, so it's all about being a professional and knowing that your time will come. You know, and you need to be ready when that time comes.
Coach Farouk, Mshege, it was lovely. It was a lovely 2 legs that we saw. I think Cardoso has won everybody over now. 5-1. We haven't seen that in a long time. 5 goals. We haven't seen that and away from home on top of that. And then at home, just being so clinical and giving us dishing out those passes, just trying things. I think we all enjoyed it. It's been a long time since I've smiled so much during a Talking Sundowns show. Masandawana, I am happy. I don't know about you. You let me know in the comments. You let us know in the comments how you feel. For me, Coach Farouk and Shakes, thanks to the fans who always join us. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll chat again very soon. Sundowns, yes. Pirates, predictions. Let's go. Predictions. Hit the comments. Let the beat do the talking.